morning, folks. So today we're starting off, we're making room. We're in the final push on corn and we're going to be short on space, so we're going to core some bins. So we haven't cored this bin, we're going to do that. We got to change our leg to load out. And then hopefully today we're going to run some corn. You guys don't keep up with the weather in southern Ohio. We had 3 inches of snow the other day. So we've been out of the field since Friday. Today is Wednesday, November the 12th. Better remember to do that. Get our camera system all situated here. Those are just wireless backup cameras off Amazon. They work pretty well. But each truck has to connect to its own camera, so you gotta come in here and unplug it and start the pairing process. It's the only drawback is when you got multiple trucks going, is that. Let's see here, we're pulling out number 2 bin. So I need the number 2 jump auger and the number 2 unload auger. And then we get in the truck. Probably should turn around because it would appear that the wind is really blowing this way. Change of plan, folks. We are harvesting corn. Stopped in at the office. I heard the door open up and then I seen the combine go out the road. The sun is out. Bob Brown is done waiting. He gets very antsy, which is good. And it is time. Like we need to get some corn done. So we are heading to the field a little earlier than I thought we would. Didn't quite get all the grain moved that I wanted to, but we'll just work on it in the mornings. Hopefully tomorrow we can haul a couple more loads in. We're waiting on frost to burn off. BJ and Dev headed down. My cousin Ben's going to help me move some semis. The field we're going to, one of the reasons we're going to it is so that we can harvest and not get trucks stuck. So where we're going to be basically parking the trucks, one tire off the road, one tire on the road, on a little township road. Most other places we would probably get a semi stuck today. It's just a little tacky still. I think tomorrow will be fine, but today is how we're going to do it. So normally we would pull the trucks in the field on up here, but don't think we're going to be able to do that today. Hey Dad, what kind of moisture you see up?
Around 17 up and down.
Okay. Yeah, those LSWs ride good, but more than anything, they just look awesome on that tractor. Like a little biased, but I think we got the coolest looking grain cart tractor on YouTube. So we're going to test this grain to see what bin we need to go in with it. Right now we need to change our distributor anyways because we're at loadout. So if I start dumping this truck, we'd just be going right back into the same truck. We don't want to do that. Heck yeah. We'll go right into bin 4. A little windy today. Good news is that wind's drying the ground out for us. And it's not blowing over the crop. Hey everybody, today's video is sponsored by Factor. So with that said, let's see what we have for dinner tonight. Wild mushroom filet mignon. So I'm a big fan of steak. And the fact that you can get steak delivered to the house, big plus for me. So one other nice thing about Factor, if you're trying to eat a little healthy, you can kind of hand select your meals based on that. So I usually choose a keto or heavy protein option whenever I'm picking my Factor meals. And in the app, once you sign up for Factor, you have the ability to do that. So I like that, especially working here at the farm with my family. Not everyone has the same eating habit I do. I'm pretty sure my father could live on potato chips and fast food. That's just not something I want to do. So by doing this, I can kind of stay with my dietary goals. Also, these things are cheaper than, you know, a lot of the fast food options we have. Plus, they're way more convenient because it's here. Delivered right to my door. So get this thing warming up and have some dinner. So it looks like we're heating this for 3 minutes. And while that's heating, I can tell you about the discount you can get if you would like to try Factor. If you've been following along, Factor has been a long time sponsor of the channel. Our discount code is a little different though now. So if you would like to try a Factor meal, head over to factor75.com where you can get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. And that code is BFVFB50. Yeah, BFVFB50. This offer is only valid for new Factor customers and qualifying auto-renew subscriptions. So again, that's BFVFB50. So the steak meals have become my favorite and go-to. Also really like the salmon Factor meals, but it's hard to beat steak. Again, if you guys want to try it out, BFVFB50, good chance to take advantage of a great offer. And thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. You know, when we built this grain facility and we put in this drive-through, I didn't really want this little test shack here. I thought it'd be just fine to sit right there. And you know, for that first month of harvest it is. But now that it's cold and the wind's howling, I'm very glad that Dad thought it was a good idea to put this little tip-out shack off to the side of the drive-through. Because I'm in and out of the wind, and I'm warm, and I can see everything just fine. Got the fire stoked. Not too bad. Sometimes you just gotta trust your elders. Kind of surprised they haven't caught me yet. Truck's still empty. Now part of it is this field's just not big running. A lot of turning, not real efficient. It's only 30 acres. This will be the third load, so we should be half done. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, this field's about done. Never thought about it, but we never winterized that. We got down to like 20 degrees. Hopefully that thing's not cracked. It's not leaking. That's good. Kind of one of them things we never really thought of. Never had a water tank on a grain cart before. Getting drier, 15.6. That's good, because right now we're topping off this big bin right here. Like to do that with dry corn.
Over here, she was matching.
Hey Dad, what'd that field end up making? I don't think it was real good.
144, Ron, 144.
144. So that field could probably make 200, but we had a couple patches we cleaned up. They're not real good. It's not real good ground. What would you do? Would you leave that bad ground and do nothing with it other than bush hog it and watch it grow into weeds and stuff? Or would you put some crops on it? So, yeah, there's parts of that field that are 200 plus bushel corn acres, but there's also parts of it that aren't. So every now and then I'll get asked about our radio setup in the test shack. So this is just a Midland radio. I think that's a 40 watt Midland GRS radio. And then they sell this little box, basically converts it from DC to AC power. And then I don't have an antenna mounted very high. It's literally just dangling right there. but everything's pretty close to the dump, and I can generally talk to everybody around here. If I had that up higher on top of the drive-through, I could definitely get a lot better service, but pretty much all the fields but a couple, I can talk to everybody with that radio right there. So this field here is complete. Now through those trees and down over a hill, we got 10 more acres in 2 fields that are not going to be good. They're going to be pretty bad. A lot of drowned out spots. Field is tiled, it's just wet ground. It's also the very last corn that I planted. I don't know if we can get there real easy without getting covered in green briars or not. Yeah, I just assumed there'd be a deer path through here. Yeah, there's one. Oh, I can see the cornfield. So when I bought this property 11 years ago, I made a nice dozer path through here. I haven't really been up through here much since. It's really gonna suck if BJ's already taken the grain cart up to fill the truck. Now that we've waded through the jungle. Ah, there's the 4-wheeler path I remember. Yes. And so much for not getting covered in green briars. I wonder if I can sneak up on Bubby. He doesn't know I'm coming down here. Unfortunately, he's kind of looking right at me where he parked. It'll be a chore to put the Mohican sneak on him now. I'm probably just gonna walk right across that field. Yeah, I don't expect there to be many bushels coming out of here. Not real productive ground either. It's a good field to deer hunt in though. What's that song with the chick saying, "I see red"? You don't know?
I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
I see it on the TikTok all the time. Dad just came on the horn and said this field made 51 bushel. Now, luckily, this is 5 acres. Not a lot of acreage. And when we're running out of fertilizer and stuff, this usually gets prioritized last because it's not a great field. But what do you do with it?
So my thought was that 51 total bushels?
Yeah, because there's probably a half acre you didn't even harvest. It's probably worse than 51.
Either way, it's bad.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, we gotta wait here.
13,000, Jesus, 13,000 pounds.
242 bushels.
Divide that by 5. It's less than 50.
48.43.
Well, there you go.
You gotta get to 0.43 in a situation like this.
It might be 5.5 acres too. I don't know, or 4.5. I don't remember. Either way, our worst field by far. So this was a wet year. This field does terrible in wet conditions because it's wet grounds, and it was planted last, so not a huge surprise.
Let's be honest, this field does shit. Dry year, dude.
There was one time I can remember having good corn over there.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah, but this is by
Can you
far.
open that field up over and I'll find out.
Ah, I'll go open up another one. You're gonna take that truck? So we're gonna go ahead and start one more field. And we're not gonna do it all. Part of the field that we're going to has a bunch of stuff around it. Dad's gonna do what he can tonight, try to get a couple more loads done. It would be nice. The field that we're going to has a lot of tile holes, has a lot of water holes. It's really not a good place to go at night. But the front half of it's not bad. I think that's where we're going to go. But to get the stuff moved, BJ's wife's going to pick him up. He's going to take the empty truck to the next field, and we'll take this one and go dump it. Now Dad's going to have a far commute tonight. His house is right below this field, or right above this field. Starting to get dark. Fix that problem. So there's about 30 more acres around that hill, but I think this is all we're going to do for this evening. I think. BJ must be sleeping. Oh, there he goes. Apparently I'm going to start an Uber service. Dad and BJ are riding back with me. We're just going to leave the equipment here, because this is where we will be coming to first thing in the morning. Now on the other side of these trees, over this old railroad bed and across the stream, we've got 50 acres of corn in 2 fields. Like to finish this probably 22 or 3 acres of corn we got here, hit that 50, and then we've got 6 acres up the road, and then we've got 25 acres up the road. It'd be great if we could do all those. I don't know if we'll be able to do them all tomorrow, but we're sure gonna try. We miscalculated. We definitely came in today thinking we had 300 acres of corn. What I got to think about, we have about still yet 400 to 390 acres of corn. So we were off. I kind of had a pathway for us getting done, but before the rain Tuesday. I don't know if that's possible now. We'll see. The question is, do we stay on corn, or in a couple days do we switch to double crops? Kind of feel like if it's dry enough to do beans, we should probably do those double crops. The mental hurdle you got to play with yourself. You make a lot more money on first crop corn than you will double crop soybeans. We definitely have more money invested in them, but we're going to harvest both crops. We can harvest the corn in a rain. We cannot do that with the beans. So we might be making the switch whenever the beans dry out a little bit. There's still going to be plenty wet today and tomorrow and probably the next day. Looks like Dad's blowing the combine off over there. And as soon as he gets done, they're both going to hop in here and we're going to go back to the shop. So this load that we're bringing in is wet. So we need to transfer, or we need to switch our leg going to the wet bin. That way we can feed the dryer. Good news is that'll dry tonight, and the wet bin should be pretty much empty in the morning. My plan is first thing tomorrow to come over and haul a couple more loads out of that bin. That way we can, well, we need more space. All right, everybody, that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure you check back tomorrow and let's see what kind of dent we can put in corn harvest. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in the next one.